Hello. Hi, Ed.
Hello, Mario. So what are we doing without soccer?
Hmm?
What are we doing without soccer games?
Weiß nicht.
I
Did you watch the games?
watched the last game.
Well, I had
I
also,
watch one soccer game and one football game a year.
mm, I also recorded the one from Saturday. It was a great game.
It was, yeah.
6-4. That's not
Oh,
very,
that's unusual.
yeah.
What was interesting is that they didn't actually get a shot into goal.
Say it again?
The not the Spain, not Spain. Who's the other game? Who are they fighting with?
Say it again?
Who are the teams that played the finals? Spain and
Oh,
who?
Spain and Argentina.
Argentina. But Argentina didn't even get a shot on their opposite goal. Zero.
Zero. No shots.
No,
The Spanish had a very
they
tight defense. They were
they
just,
were they controlled the game.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Well,
unusual because
yeah. Now, normally Argentina comes back from losing a game to
right,
winning, but
right.
they couldn't do anything.
It's
They
tired
just
out.
they played the extension. That's when the goal they that's when they scored,
Right.
the Spaniards.
The
And
overtime.
it's the only goal that the goalkeeper of Argentina conceded. One.
Hmm.
And that's the result of the game.
All right. Okay. All
Well,
right.
there's always 4 years from now.
I can hardly wait.
Mm. Well, if you're not used to watching soccer,
I think it's
uh,
a fascinating game. I mean, the amount of energy that's
yeah,
expended by not only the players but the referees too.
yeah.
Like
Where was it on? I think on the game on Saturday. I think the referee stopped the game to get a massage in his legs because he got a
really,
cramp.
wow. But did I notice that there was sprinklers
Oh
on
yeah.
the field?
During the hydration, there's a few minutes, they put the sprinklers because it's so hot where they were
Right,
playing.
right.
This happened in New York, in Atlanta, in Miami, I
Huh.
think in Texas, in all of the places.
Wow.
Well, not in Canada, of course. And the thing is, because it's all new grass they put in. The American football is played on
Turf,
synthetic turf.
artificial. Yeah.
Yeah, but soccer does not allow it.
Uh, uh-huh. Okay.
All right. Hello.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, we're on 81.
Mhm.
Hey, Aleph. Reb Zera Omar, Hanach l'mechusar zman. We were dealing with the question of one of the Manda Omrim said there was no Malchus. Now, why? Because the Osova Espino, it's really a time problem. Today you can't shecht it. Tomorrow you could shecht it. Well, we have the concept of Mechusar Zman. It says, by Kochim, by Yom Hashmini, V'hala Yerotze LeKorbani Shel Hashem. So, and it's really not a lot. It's an asay, nitkul asay, my time. Huh? We're told only offer the korban after the 8th day. From there, you learn a negative that if you do it before the 8th day, you're not allowed to do it. But it's not a formal law that gives you malchus. It's learned from an asay. Miyom hashmini in mikoralo, it comes out it's a lava ba michlal asay. A lav that is derived from an asay is really considered an asay, and you don't get malchus. That's something that we've seen throughout Shas. Freak the Gemara, this pasuk of Miyom Hashmini, Rav Apturiki. It's needed for another drasha. Rav Apturiki Rami. We're on Pei Aleph, on the top. Ksiv Ayashi Vas Yamim Tachasimo. There's another pasuk that says that the animal has to live with its mother 7 days. Only after that can you shecht it. But from there, halayla chazi, that implies that it could become a korban the night after the 7th. But then it says, only from the day of the 8th. Miyom hashmini v'hala in laila lo. But that seems to imply that the night before would not be acceptable. So it seems that the two psukim are irreconcilable. Haketza. So the Gemara answers, Laila likidusha. You can be makdish the animal already the night after the 7th. Yom la'artzah. But to shecht it and to offer it on the korban, you have to wait till the 8th day. So the drasha of Miyom HaShmini is needed for this. How can you use it as the Mechlala say? Ksiv krachinan kein ta'aseh l'shorcha l'tzonecha. This 7-day period is learned from a different pasuk, l'shorcha l'tzonecha. Okay. Amar Rav Hamnuna. Harold, we're on Pei Aleph. About a third down. Omer Hayi Rab Shimon. Ein also vespeno noig bekotshim. We touched upon this, I believe, yesterday or the day before. Rab Shimon said that a shchita she'ena ru'uya is not even considered a shchita. By kotshim, shchita is not enough to allow you to eat the meat. You need zrika sadam. So in essence, it's a deficient shchita. Therefore, in Rab Shimon's eyes, it's not viewed as shchita as well. And therefore, the whole din of Osov Espinol is not noyeg by kotshim. My time, a kivin dam Rab Shimon shchita she'ena u'yeloshma shchita. A shchita that's not sufficient on its own to allow you to eat the animal is a shchita she'ena ru'ui. It's not called shchita. And therefore, shchita is kotshim nami, shchita she'ena ru'ui. It's not considered a complete shchita. Mosif Rava. Rav is going to ask from a baraisa. It says, Osov espino, kotshim bachutz. You have a mother and a child, both are kotshim. You shechted them outside of the azah. Reb Shimon Omer sheni b'lo yisaseh. The second one, the first one, there's no shaila. The first one is an animal that was roi to be makriv on the inside, and you shechted it on the outside. Therefore, you get koris for that. But the second one, you don't get koris because it was osov espino, so the animal was a mechusar zman. Now, the kasha the Gemara is going to formulate is, it's still, according to Rabbi Shimon, it's a beloy saseh. He incurs the lav. If we say it's the lav of Osov is not, why? It's a shchita she'ena ru'uya. Because kotshim bachutz you can't eat. Well, what does the Brisa say? Sheni below saisa shay Rabbi Shimon oimer kolaroy lover lachar zman. If eventually it's going to be fit, so like if you waited till the next day, you do get at least the lav for shchitas chutz. That's what it means below sase, but vein b'koris. You don't get koris for that shchita of the kodshim. Chachamim says you don't get anything. Kol shein b'kores ein b'lo sase. If there's no kores, there's no lav either. V'kashalon kodshim b'chut sheini b'lo sase. How could Rav Shimon say that the second animal, which was kodshim, gets a lav? I don't understand. Kamon miktel kota. The original shchita of the first animal was not a shchita because you couldn't eat it. So sheni makabel lifnimu. So the second, there's no osov espino. The second one could have been shechted on the inside. Kores nami l'chayv. So you should have regular kores for shchita schutz. That's number one. V'amar Rava, v'amar la kedi. There are words missing. And this I have to read the brisa. Kodshim shneim b'chutz. You have a mother and a child that are kodshim, and they were shechted outside. L'rabbanon, they hold that any shchita is a shchita. So therefore, rishon onish kares. That first animal could have been offered inside the base of Mikdash. You shechted it on a mizbech outside, you get kares. Sheni posel. The sheni is osov esbeno. You can't offer it that day. Upoter mi lav de shchutei chutz. So there's no lav of shchutei chutz because that was not fit to be offered. But Rab Shimon, who says that something that shchita will not allow you to eat, shneim anushim kares. Both should get kares. Why? Echad b'chutz. When you slaughtered the first one outside the base of Mikdash, and v'echad b'fnim, one was on the inside. L'rabbanon rishon onish kares. The first one gets kares. Sheni posel potter. He couldn't bring it because it's always service beno. So there's no. If you did it outside, there's no problem either. Rab Shimon, sheni kosher. If you bring it on the inside, there's no problem. However, echad b'fnim v'echad b'chutz. If the first one was done on the inside, the second one was done on the outside, the rabbanon rishon kosher potter. The first one is a perfectly fine korban. Sheni poslu potter. It's also vesbeno. It's mechusar zman. So there's no shchitas of also vesbeno. Rab Shimon, sheni below saseh. According to Rab Shimon, you're over for shchitas chutz. Because the first one is not considered a shchita. So there is no osov espino. And Rava is going to ask the kasha beferish. If, as you tried to say, Reb Shimon holds that there is no osov espino by kodshim because of this issue of shchita ru'uya, sheni amai belosase. Why does the second person get a lav? Kores nami l'chayv. He should be chayv kores for the shchitas pachutz, and not ani osos beno. El Omer Rav Amnuna, Achi Kamer Rav Amnuna. Ein malchus osov es beno noig bekodshim. New halacha, according to Rabbi Shimon. It's not that the din of osov es beno doesn't apply. There's no din malchus by osov es beno. Why? Kiven de kamad lo yizrok dam lo mishtri basar. Since without Zrika Saddam you can't eat the meat, normally to get Malchus, what has to happen? You have to give a warning. You have to say, if you do this and this and this, v'yishach, you're going to get Malchus. However, Me'ida de Kashochet, we don't know whether you can eat the meat until the blood is thrown on the Mizbeach. And we don't know if the Kohen will throw it. Therefore, Havi Asra Safek. Therefore, the warning is not a vaday warning. Asra sofik lo shma asra to give malchus. Ve oz the ravel tamei. Damara. He chullin ubno shlami. You have an animal which is chullin. Its child was designated as shlami, and you shecht them both on the same day. If you shechted the chullin vakakach shachat shlamim, he's potter according to Rabbi Shimon, like we said. The second one, you can't give him a straw because we don't know when whether the dam will be nizrak or not. However, if the first one that was shechted was the shlomim, and the zrika sadam was done, then of course he's chayiv, because there was a valid shechita done initially, and then when you shech the child, you violated the oso v'espno, even according to Rabbi Shimon. Okay. Amarava. He chulin ubna oila. The first animal is chulin, and the child is an ola. So loma boy shachat chulin. There's no shaila that when you shechted the chulin first, and then you shechted the ola second, that you're potter from makas according to Rabbi Shimon, because nobody's ever eats an ola. It's completely offered. Ela filu shachat oila, and you did zrika sadam. V'achakach shachat chulin, still potter, because chshita kamayz alav shchita basachili. Rabbi Shimon's definition of shchita, that it's something that allows you to eat the meat, that's never going to be noig by an oila, because an oila is never eaten by people. It's completely burnt. However, Rabbi Yaakov Amavichla achilas mizbech shma achila. When the mizbech consumes an oila, that's also called achila. My time. The Amar Krov. V'ime achol yachel mibsar zevach shlama. What's this he'achol yachel? B'shtei achilas hakosim davar. Echad achilas adam, ve'echad achilas mizbech. That when an ola is consumed completely on the mizbech, that's already considered achila. So they would say that there would be malchus, because the shchita would be a shchita that leads to some form of achila. However, says the next Mishnah, if you shecht and the animal is found to be a treifa, or you shechted avodah zarah, which of course does not allow you to eat the meat. Ashochet poras chatas, you shechted poraduma. You don't eat that; you burn it. Or shor nisko, there's no hanoah from a shor nisko. Vegla rufa, there's no hanoah. Rab Shimon poiter. Rab Shimon says these are shchitas she'ena re'uya. It's not called a shchita, and therefore there's no osova spino. The chachamim mechayvin. Chachamim don't care. Shchita, shchita, shchita. If you shechted the parent and the offspring, we don't care whether it's a shchita re'uya or not. You're chayiv for osov espino. However, hashoichet not becomes treifa, but v'nisnabla b'yoda, becomes an nevela. Hanoicher v'maker, you rip out the esophagus or the trachea for one animal and you shech the other one. Potter, yishum osov espino, because you didn't do a shchita. Even the chachamim will hold that. Amrei shlokish. Lo yishanu al sheshachat rishon avodah zarah shein l'shulchano. When do we say that there's a patur in Rab Shimon? The first animal was shechted for him to eat. No, the first animal was shechted l'avodah zarah, and the second one for his table. When you shechted l'avodah zarah, you get skila. You did a mice of avodah zarah that's going to give you the death penalty. And then you shechted for yourself. The osav espino is only malchus. That's according to Chachamim, who disagreed with Rab Shimon. Chachamim mechayvin, because they will give you malchus for the second one of the Osov Espino, and then they'll put him to death. Aval rishon l'shulchano, but if initially he shechted to eat, v'shein l'avodah zara, then he's potter from malchus, because the same act, which was the act of the second shechita of l'avodah zara, gave him both the death penalty and malchus. We have a principle: kam le'mid rabbi mina. You get treated, you get executed with the worst punishment. In the first case, you had two different averas. The first aver was done a shchitas l'avodah zara. Then when you shechted the child, you have osova espino, but it's not the same action that gave you both violations. So the Beis Din will first give you malchus, then they'll put you to death. But in the second case, where the same violation gave you both, you can't get two punishments if one is worse. That's what Reish Lakish says. Amalei Rav Yochanan. This is you don't have to say it. Even cheder kids know this, so it doesn't even have to be stated. Ella, pamim shafilu shachat rishon l'shulchan v'shein l'avodah zara chayiv. Rabbi Yochanan is going to say there will be examples where if you shechted for your own table initially, and the second one was avodah, you still be chayiv. When? Right before he's going to shech the second one for avodah zara, they warned him only about the osov espino violation. V'lo asro mishum avodah zara. Since he never got asra, he would get malchus for the osov espino. Comes Reish Lakish to give a great principle. Kiven dechi asru bei potter. But if they would have warned him about the avodah zara, he would have been potter. Kilo asru bei nami potter. Reish Lakish creates a general rule. If the violation would have occurred if he would have had asra, it's as if he gave him asra. V'ozdu l'tamayu. And we find that Reish Lakish and Rav Yochanan argue on this somewhere else. The Chiyasa Rav Dimi came from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, Omar, Chayve misos shogge. If someone did an act that if they did it b'mezid, they would get the death penalty. They murder somebody, or they worship avodah zara, or they violate Shabbos b'mezid. But if they did it b'shogeg, and v'chayve malchus shoigegim, and they at the same time they did an act that b'mezid, the same thing will give you both malchus and misa, and they did that b'shogeg, right? V'dover acher, either malchus b'shogeg or chiv misa b'shogeg, and another avera. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Chayiv. Rabbi Yochanan says you get the easier punishment. Reish Lakish Amar Pot, you don't get the easier, but you only get one punishment. According to Rabbi Yochanan, you get both. Rabbi Yochanan Chayiv Dahala Asubei. If he wasn't warned about the death penalty, you're still chayiv for the malchus. Reish Lakish Amar Potter. Reish Lakish says no. Since if you would have gotten asra for the death penalty, kiven dechi asra bei Potter, kilo asra bei nami Potter. Now, we just had this machlokas regarding this issue of osov espino. Why did it have to be repeated over there? Tzricha. Yeshmin Baha. If you've only told me the case of osov espino by shchitas l'avodah zara and osov espino, maybe there, but how come Rav Reish Lakish that even though you didn't get asra, you would be potter? Aval baha, we actually did the act that you would get the death penalty for, or malchus, along with, let's say, payment of money. Maybe even more than Rav Yochanan, maybe you'd pay the money and then get the punishment. So I had to be told that no. If I've only been told there, Rav Yochanan. that you still have to pay the money. Aval Baha, maybe even more than Rav Sheish Lakish, that since if he would have had a straw for the capital punishment, he would be putter for Malchus. Maybe he'll agree. So we needed the Machlokas Tzricha. We mentioned an example of a shchita that would be considered not a valid shchita, is shechting a paraduma. Break the more about Tanya. Rav Shimon Oimer. Para mitama tumasoichlin. If you shecht a paraduma, the meat is considered oichel and can become tomei. You can't have a gnaw from it, but it has the status of food. So why do you say it's a shchita she'ena ruya? Okay. Tomorrow we will learn same time, 7:15, and then we'll do the Tzur Ben Rabbanan at 8 o'clock.